Hello, friends. Welcome to a channel where history meets folklore, and a little bit of humor makes everything even more interesting. Today, we're going to travel back in time, dig up ancient legends, and maybe even laugh at something unusual. Join us, it'll be fun and insightful. Baba Yaga, guardian of the forest, sorceress, and what do chicken legs hide? Baba Yaga is one of the most vivid and mysterious figures in Slavic mythology. She exists in our imagination as an eerie old woman with a hooked nose, hiding in a hut on chicken legs, brewing potions, flying on a broom, and scaring children. But if we look deeper, we find that Baba Yaga is much more than meets the eye. She is not just a fairy tale character, but an important archetype embodying magic, wisdom, death, and the transition between worlds. In her figure, intertwine elements of ancient beliefs, mythological symbols, and folk traditions that continue to live in people's minds to this day. Mythology and symbolism of Baba Yaga. To understand who Baba Yaga was for ancient Slavs, we need to look at her image through the lens of mythology. For the Slavic peoples of the past, like many other cultures, the forest was associated with otherworldly forces and spirits. The forest was not only a source of food and building materials but also a place where miracles happened and dangers lurked. In myths, the forest was often seen as a boundary between the world of the living and the world of the dead, a place where reality and the supernatural intersected. The symbolism of the forest was so strong that such figures as Baba Yaga became its guardians. She wasn't just protecting the forest, she was its judge, setting the rules for those who dared to enter. In myths and folk tales, she presents heroes with tasks that they must complete in order to receive her help. This is where the most interesting part begins. Baba Yaga as the hero's trial. Baba Yaga is not a villain in the traditional sense. In fact, she is more of a teacher who, through trials, helps the hero unlock their strength and abilities. Her hut on chicken legs, for instance, is not merely a wicked dwelling, but a place where the boundaries between worlds are drawn. It becomes a test for the hero. Will they be able to face the difficulties and survive, all while maintaining their moral compass? Only by overcoming these challenges can the hero receive help from her, and if they fail, they are lost. This is reflected in some of the most famous tales of Baba Yaga. Take, for example, the story of Vasilisa the Beautiful. She goes to Baba Yaga for help, but before receiving it, she must perform difficult tasks, clean the huts, collect ashes, and untangle balls of thread. Despite the seemingly harsh conditions and strict requirements, Baba Yaga ultimately helps Vasilisa because she is worthy. This is the wisdom hidden in her character. In order to receive help, you must first prove that you deserve it. Thus, Baba Yaga becomes a figure who not only teaches the heroes of folk tales but also teaches us. She reminds us that life is not only about ease and pleasure but also about the challenges that require strength and determination. The hut on chicken legs, archetypes and symbols. Now, let's talk about one of the most striking parts of Baba Yaga's image, her hut on chicken legs. This is not just a strange house that looks like it was designed by a chicken contractor, but a deeply symbolic mythological element. In mythology, strange dwellings and chicken legs often symbolize something transitional and unstable. For instance, in the myths of other peoples, such houses could represent a gateway between worlds, changes, or even a journey to the afterlife. Why chicken legs? Perhaps it's a reference to the fact that the chicken is a bird that, though unable to fly, still possesses an unusual ability to rise to great heights. The chicken legs on Baba Yaga's hut seem to say, this house does not belong to the earth. It exists between worlds, and those who are not ready for this transition cannot enter. It's a kind of test, a trap for those who hope to enter the forest without understanding its spirit. The myth that Baba Yaga's hut can spin only strengthens this symbol. The hut doesn't have a fixed position, it can turn in any direction, just like the forest itself. This points to the idea that nature, especially the forest, doesn't conform to the laws of the human world. Those who try to control it must be ready for changes and unexpected turns. Baba Yaga in folk tales, humor and life lessons. But don't think Baba Yaga is all about fear and strictness. In folk tales, she often shows a surprising sense of humor and even kindness. For example, in the story of how Ivan Tsarevich traveled to Baba Yaga, she, despite her strict role, shares a few funny stories and offers some useful advice. This moment might seem odd, but in this context, Baba Yaga becomes a symbol of great wisdom. She is not just a harsh guardian but a wise mentor, capable of seeing hidden potential in others. One vivid example of Baba Yaga's playful side comes when Ivan Tsarevich asks her, "Are you planning to fly on a broom?" She responds, "Oh, yes, and not just that." Although she isn't entirely confident in her broom flying abilities, she agrees to the trial. The moral here is simple: even in the most serious situations, one must find room for humor. And while Baba Yaga may seem frightening and enigmatic, her jokes teach us not to fear challenges but to approach them with lightness and a bit of irony. Why Baba Yaga remains relevant. Today, in the age of digital technology, Baba Yaga may seem like a distant, folkloric figure. However, her character remains relevant. She is a symbol of the fact that life is not just about comfort, but also about struggle. There are not only successes but also failures. Baba Yaga reminds us that in order to become true heroes of our own lives, we need to overcome difficulties, search for answers to our questions, and, in the end, be ready to face challenges. Baba Yaga is the one who stood at the boundary of the forest, at the boundary between the world of the living and the dead, between what we know and what we don't. She is not only a witch and sorceress but also a guardian, protecting the borders and testing those who wish to enter her world. Conclusion. Baba Yaga is not just a character from fairy tales. She is a multifaceted symbol deeply connected to ancient myths, ideas about life and death, magic, riddles, and trials. Baba Yaga is an old woman who does not simply scare, but forces us to think, to take life seriously, to approach the world with respect and readiness to explore its mysteries. And although her hut on chicken legs may seem intimidating, it is in fact helping us understand that if we are not afraid to venture into the unknown forests, we may discover far more than we expected. Thank you for joining us and diving into the world of history and folklore. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on new fascinating stories. See you in the next video, where we'll uncover even more amazing facts and funny tales. Bye bye.